Ayo! This is Calvo here. We're going to do another little video today on using trade ideas. Today we're going to look at setting up a multi-strategy window. Don't forget, these videos are brought to you by tricktrades.com, your number one place in the market for trading education. If you're currently in a trading room and you're not happy with the results you're getting, your account's not building, if you're not in a trading room and you're interested in joining a really good trading room, or if you're just a good trader and need a little bit of company during the day, come check us out at tricktrades.com. I'm sure you'll absolutely love it. So much stuff to learn there every single day from Pat, our leader. So come check us out. Right, on with what we're doing today. So we're going to look at multi-strategy windows. Now, I've ummed and ahed for probably the best part of this week actually over what to do with this lesson and what to put into this particular multi-strategy window. I was going to do something based around the whole and half number, but I've sort of had to play with a few things this morning and it just didn't really fit the bill for me. So I think what we're going to do is you will receive a scan window for the whole dollar. For the whole dollar scan, which we sometimes use. I don't really know if Pat uses it anymore. But we're going to look at building a low, medium and high float momentum scan. So this is Pat's scan actually. So there's plenty of people on YouTube that show you how to build momentum scans and that type of stuff. Some of them are okay, and I guess a momentum scan is just a momentum scan. This is the one that Pat uses, and it's really good. But so I guess we're gonna do something similar, but we're gonna learn a lot more about the building of it and how to set it up right and that type of thing, so that you can build your own, get yourself set up with one, and then you've got a momentum scan then as part of your package. So onwards and upwards. Let's get rid of these. And so first thing we're going to do, as always, we're going to go into new, which is here. And we're going to click on multi-strategy window. And that will open up a blank window there. Okay. So first thing we need to do is right click the mouse and go on to strategies here. And then click on new strategy and then configure. And as we've done previously, we're going to go start from scratch, and we're going to look at first of all we're going to do a low float momentum scan. Okay, so remember the thing with these scans is what you're basically building is we're going to build essentially 3 different alert windows in one window here. So instead of having a scan there, a scan there, a scan there, a scan there, taking up half of the screen, we're going to have them all inside this one window, which will be reduced down to, you know, about that size, so it'll fit in the corner of your screen, and you can get the information from 3 different scans is kind of the idea behind it. Okay, so we've started from scratch. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to go to alerts and find out what the alerts are going to be. Remember we talked about the difference between alerts. Okay, the difference between alerts and criteria, I suppose we could call them. So the alert is what gives us the actual thing we're looking for. So if we're looking for things going up, we're looking for a new high, running up now, or running down, new low, that type of thing. If we're looking for if the basis of the scan is going to be, for example, a V, something based around the VWAP. You might put something like that crossed above the VWAP. So if the basis of your scan is going to be that, then that's the alert that you would put in. You would put crossed above VWAP, and then you'd start building a criteria around it regarding price, flow, volume today, average daily volume, that type of thing. If you were building a scan that's based around opening range, breakout, that type of stuff, you might use something like a 5-minute high, a 15-minute high type thing, or there is actually a range breakout, I think, down here somewhere. I'm pretty sure there's some sort of a break. It could be in the alerts, that may be. Anyway, you've got, if opening range breakouts is your thing, then there's things in here for looking at breakouts and that type of thing. But for the basis of this scan, we're just going to look at the momentum. Okay, so the alerts that we want are new high. Let's see if they're in here to make life easy. So we're going to tick new high, and we're going to take running up. Okay, and we're going to OK to those, and then we're going to go to Windows specific filters. What we need for this is we need a float. We need to add the float to it, and we need some relative volume type things. So let's start from the beginning. Let's start with the price. We've got that up. So we're going to go 50 cents. So we'll go 0.5, which is 50 cents minimum price. And the maximum price we will have at $15. Okay. Today's, what else have we got already in today's volume? Today we want a minimum today of 50,000 shares traded. Okay. Now we need to search some alerts to get some more. So we're going to go to search. I'm going to type in float. Click add filter. Okay, for the low float, we want a value of no more than 10 million shares. Now, to make sure that we've put that in right, we're going to go to OK. Stocks where the value is no more than 10 million shares. Okay, that's what we're classing as a low float. So anything under 10 million shares outstanding. So let's go back to the thing. So we're happy with that. We're not going to have a minimum. It doesn't really matter what the minimum is because it's low. Now we also need to put in stocks where the volume is at least in the 5 minutes is at least 500% of normal. So we're going to go to search. We're going to go get rid of that, and then we'll scroll through. I'll just pause it 1 second while I set these filters up. Okay, sorry about that. I just didn't want to waste any more of your time. So what we're looking for is volume in 1 minute, and we're looking for volume in 5 minutes by percentage. So we're going to go click both of those, volume 1 minute, volume 5 minute. We're going to add both of those filters in. All right, and the 1 minute volume, we are looking for at least 800% of the normal 1 minute volume. That guarantees us that something is definitely happening for a huge volume rush to come in. And the volume on the 5 minute level, we're looking for 500% of normal. So let's click OK and see what we've got. Stocks where the price is between 50 cents and $15. The volume today is 50,000 shares. The volume in the last 1 minute is 800% of the normal volume, and in the last 5 minutes is 500% of normal. And stocks where the value is no more than 10 million shares, all right, which is the float. That's all we're going to do. We're not going to add a minimum or maximum price to it. Sorry, we're not going to add a minimum or maximum daily volume to it. Just because sometimes things that are having a really good day today, or maybe even second day, wouldn't necessarily be on the radar on a 5 or 10 day basis. It might be something that only trades 30,000 shares a day normally, which is nothing, not even worth looking at. But today it might have done 6 million shares because something's going on. So we want to know if something's going on, really. So we're not going to put a average daily volume in. We're going to give the strategy, the window, a name. So we're going to call this a low float Momo scan, and I'm going to put video version. And we're going to click OK, and we should have our first scan. So let's right click, go into strategies, and there it is. All right, so we've got our first one built in and all ready to go. So what we're going to do is go on, and we're now going to build another one. So we go to here, we go to new strategy, configure, start from scratch, select alerts, new high, running up, OK. Window specific filters. Now the filters will automatically give you the same set of filters as we've just used in the previous scan, so no need to go looking through them again, which makes life nice and easy. So once again, we're going to go price 0.5, maximum price. In this one, we're going to go $40 because it's going to be a medium float, so we can raise the price limit on this a little bit. Relative volume, well, it doesn't matter, it's going to be high relative volume anyway. These sort of scans tend to produce 200, 300, 400% relative volume on a ratio, so we don't need to put that. Volume today, we want 50,000 shares. The float for this one is a minimum of 10 million. But what we're going to do, so we don't get an overlap between this one and the last one, we're going to put a 1 in there, okay, at the end. So it's 10 million on one share. That way we should keep the scans separate. And as a maximum for a medium float, we're going to say 60 million. Okay, 60 million shares maximum for this float. The volume in 1 minute is 800%, and the volume in 5 minutes is 500. There we go, all nice and simple. Let's see what we've done. Price between 50 cents, $40. Volume today 50,000. Volume 5 minutes, 1 minute 800%. Volume 5 minutes 500%. Stocks where the value is between 10 million and 1 and 60 million shares. Give it a name. Medium float Momo scan video version. Click OK. Now we should go to strategies. We should have 2 in there, a low float, and you've got your medium float. So now what we need is our high float. So we go to new strategy, configure, start from scratch, and we're ready to go again. You should be able to do this yourself now, nice and easy. Search alerts, new high, running up, OK, window specific filters, and input the criteria again. So price for this one is we're going to go between $1 and we're going to go up to $75. The volume today is going to be, again, 50,000 shares. Actually, we're going to go 200,000 shares according to this, so I will copy Pat's criteria. There we are. The float for this one is going to be a minimum of 61. Hang on. Yep, sorry about that. So the float for this one is going to be 60 million on one. And we're not going to have a maximum on it. So the opposite to the low float, essentially. We have a minimum, but no maximum for this. Volume in 1 minute is 800%. Volume in 5 minutes is 500%. Let's see what we've got. 1 to 75, 200,000 today, 800% 1 minute, 500% 5 minutes, and the float of at least minimum float 60 million and one. Let's give it a name. High float Momo scan video. Okay, and now we've got 3 scans ready to go. What we didn't do, and I'll go back and do it now, I should have done it at the time, is we're going to go back and configure. It's a good lesson anyway, so if you want to change them, you just go into configure. So configure. I just want to configure the exchanges because we don't want any of these. So we're going to keep NASDAQ, the Amex, the New York Stock Exchange, and I'm going to get rid of ARCA. So we say OK. And we do the same for the next one. Get rid of the OTC, the bulletin boards, we don't need any of that. Keep. And the next one, configure, exchange, untick. Okay, right. So we're all set up now with 3 scans within our multi-strategy window. So first thing we want to do is have a look. Let's have a look at these headers actually. So you've got a choice with these headers here. You can either have them as symbols, or you can have them, if you go to properties and then go to text headers, you can have them so that they're text headers, or you can have them, unclick it and it'll go back to the symbols. It depends what you're comfortable with. I personally like text headers. What we need to do is have a little look to make sure that it's picking up some results. So we're going to go to history, to time frame, and then we want to have a look at what it did yesterday. Easiest way to do that, if it's only yesterday you're looking at, is just tick now for most recent, and oldest will tick yesterday morning, and that will give us all yesterday's results. Hit OK and it will bring up all the results from yesterday, which will be a lot because these scans do produce a lot, and they'll often produce rows and rows of the same ticker as the stock is hitting huge volume and hitting the scan. It will just continue to light up the screen sometimes. But don't be too overwhelmed with that. As I say, it's actually a good sign. If something's really lighting the screen up like there, that tells you something's going on and it's worth looking at. If it only gives you a one-off, you know, things like these, they're only giving you the occasional one-off. They're not something I would look at, and unless something's already printed half a screen's worth of ticker on the window, I'm not going to look at it. I'm only going to look at it if it's absolutely lit my screen up. Then it's worth looking at because something big's going on. So you can see, definitely works. Plenty of results here, which is good. So next thing to do is to set it up however you want it. I like to have time in the left hand side. Don't need date because we know what the date is. And then we'll have symbol to there. And then we've got strategy name at the end. Price. Volume today. Relative volume. Position in the range. We might not really need that. They're generally high of day, but we'll keep it anyway. Reduce this down to there. And there we go. So the next thing to do is we're going to give the various scans, the 3 scans, their own little color identity so that we can identify them instantly by their color. And you can change this to whatever color you want. So what we need to do is go to strategies, select the first one, go to colors, select the background color. For low float, we're going to use yellow. OK. And for the foreground, we'll keep that black, or you could go red on yellow. Looks quite good. You can choose whatever you want, or you could choose blue on yellow. Looks okay. Depends. Some people are colorblind. They can't distinguish between red and green. So you know, set it up however you want it. If some colors don't look right to you, just set it up how you want to set it up. Makes no difference. You've got nice options. You can keep it black and white on one. For the sake of this one, we're gonna we'll do, let's do red. Let's do red on yellow. Okay. And that's basically lit that up to red on yellow. It's quite bright. For me it's a little bit bright, but let's keep it like that. Let's do the next one. Medium float. Colors. Select a color for the medium float. So let's say medium float will do, what should we say for medium float? Let's have blue and a foreground color of white. There we go. There's our medium float. Now all we need to do is our high float. Colors. Background color for high float. Let's have a purple. A pinky purple. Yeah, we'll go with that. How's that look? There we go. So we've got our 3 colours, and now you know as soon as the colour hits, you know if it's what you don't even have to read. You just know instantly. You could even do away with that if you wanted to, because you would automatically know what the scan is. We will keep it, but you should know. You should know how you've set it up. So if you've got less space, you can just leave it like that. There we go. Okay, so we've got our scan set up there now. So what we will do is we'll use this and we'll have a look on this window here to see what it gives us or where it's giving us. They're not all going to be great. I don't personally use it. The one thing I use this for that I find it quite good for is later on in the day, in the last sort of 2 to 3 hours of trading, I tend to find anything that's breaking out on high volume then is generally breaking out on a news catalyst, and they're actually quite good for shorting. So if you just watch it, you only get 2, 3, 4 1-minute candles going up pretty sharp, and then it will top off, and it's quite good for hitting it at the top with a short. That's the only time I use these momentum scans, but at least it shows you it's working. And the arrow always shows you the bar. You can see the volume bar there; it's huge, and that's where it first hit the scan, and it comes up as far as there. So that's on the 2 minute. The next big one it gave us was AKER. That's probably a better example. The problem for me with these scans really is it's knowing where to get in. I think people see it and they automatically hit it. And the thing is, if you hit the top of this bar somewhere up here and it pulls back, I mean, this isn't a good example because the range isn't big, but if it pulls back, it scares people out, and then they end up taking a loss, and then it goes up. So it's where you need to use a little bit of common sense, really. With these things, you're probably better off using it, taking the alert, and then waiting for a natural pullback to something like the moving average 50. And use it as a trend joining thing. So you might hit it there, wait for it to pull back. It pulls back between the 20 and the 50 there, then jump in. You can see how it goes up and down. It goes up. It never just goes up in one quick go. It goes up and it pulls back. It goes up and it pulls back. So use this. Wait for the little pullback to some sort of area of support, a moving average or something, and then take your shot and watch. And take it that way. Let's have a look at what else we've got from this. So AKER was a big one, and you can see why it went from, in that sort of push there, it went from 47 to 60 cents. So that's a big gain for a low price stock. Big gain, and it really lit the screen up here. You can see it just went on and on and on. Next one, LEDS. Well, again, not my sort of thing at all, but you can see it was doing something if you were to jump in. I don't know. I don't do them, so. A medium float one. A high float, ALKS. Yeah, it's quite nice. See, it's a higher price, so gives you more range on this. I imagine if we pull this up, what sort of time were we looking at there? We were looking at 2 o'clock, so here we go, looking at 2 o'clock. So you can see it went up and up and up, and it pulled back to this area here, so I guess use it, look for the pullback and then jump in. Trade from $60 to $64, so pretty impressive. I prefer the high float one myself. I don't touch low float stocks at all. The medium float and the high float are the sort of thing I would go for with this scan myself. In fact, I haven't even got my low float turned on for this. So the high float can be quite nice. They can give you can see it's really went throughout the day. What else did we get? Anything late afternoon worth looking at that would have been a short? Nope. Probably not. Anyway, yeah, it's up to you to look through this and see what it gives you. We've got the scan built, and we know it works. So that's your low, medium, and high float momentum scan. Done, dusted, and built. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, so a few things we can do with this. Just wanted to point a few things out. So if you want to make some adjustments to this and have a play around with it, but you don't want to lose your original settings, a good thing to do is to simply duplicate it. Okay, put this one somewhere safe, and then you can use this one. You can start messing around with your settings. If you don't like it and you get in a model, you just close it down and go back to your original. So you go to your strategies and you think, right, I want to mess around. I want to mess around with the medium float on it. So we'll go to summary, go to so I want to start adding a few things in to see if it gives me better results, clearer results. So I want an average true range of it of 0.50 cents daily. I want I don't know, let's say go to search. Might want to add in, for example, you might want to add in that it's gapped up on the day, or that it's up or down on the day. You might want consecutive candles. You might want it to, I don't know, anything really. It doesn't matter. Let's say you want change from the open. I want change from the open of minimum of 5%. I want I want time of day. It doesn't really matter. I want a short float. Okay, I want to add short float, and I want a minimum short float of 20%. So there's more chance of it being a short squeeze based scan. Okay, we click OK. Now we need to know if that works, so we go to strategies. Let's get rid of that one, and we'll get rid of that one. We'll leave this one active, so that's the only one we want to look at. Go to history, time frame, start now, end yesterday morning. Okay, does it work? Did it give us anything? Okay, it did. Not an awful lot by the look of it. It gave us AMC. There, it was useless. Anyway, you'd get the general point. Is you could go back to it and say, okay, well, let's configure it, and let's take out. Let's make the percent 10%. Let's get rid of that, and let's change that down. Does it give us anything else? This is just showing you a way of playing with your scan, basically, trying to get better results from it. I'm not suggesting you put these filters in, but the idea of a scan is you want it to give you the right results. You want it to get you in the right ballpark so that the decisions you make are a little bit easier. You don't want to be overwhelmed with results, but at the same time you don't want to miss the best results because you're being too particular either. So it's a fine line between the two, really. You can see it works anyway. So anyway, let's not bother with that. So so that's what you would do. Well, let's get rid of that one, go back to the original. Don't forget, make sure that you have these boxes ticked. If they're unticked, you're not going to get any results from the scan. So that's kind of like turning the scan off. Tick it, untick it, it's off, ticked, and it's working again. That's it really for the multi-strategy scan. I just have a little think if there's anything else I want to add into this. Yeah, I think we'll call this one at that. I'm not going to do another scan. I think this was a scan that we were going to give you, so we'll leave it at that. Hopefully you'll you'll understand pretty easily how to make one now, and it's just down to you to decide what sort of things you want in a scan. Don't forget, these do work well in conjunction with your gappers list that we made. So you'd look at your morning gappers. If you're looking for low float things, then you would have your morning gap scan set to 50 cents upwards, or 10 cents, whatever you're looking for. So you probably already know that BSPM might have been a gapper or something like that, so you'll be watching it anyway, and then as soon as it starts hitting your scan, you'll know in your mind, oh yeah, that was a gapper, here we go, it's hitting the scan. So it's just a good way of backing up what you were probably already looking at anyway. This tells you that the volume is massive and it's probably worth acting on. So hopefully you'll get some use out of this, and hopefully you'll build a couple of multi-strategy scans of your own. Don't forget the scans that we've already given you, like the bottom bounce, etc. They can all be incorporated into a multi-strategy window as well. You could have everything in one window if you wanted to, so you've now got the ability to do that for yourself. We're going to call it a day at that, so don't forget, please come check us out at tricktrades.com. I know Pat's got some absolutely huge things planned for the trading room going forward from here. Really exciting times, such a lot of good things happening. Please come check us out, give us a go. A fantastic community of traders, really good bunch of people, really learning. And the emphasis is on education at Trick Trades. There's always some fantastic video lessons being made every single day. Pat's just there for us, teaching us stuff. Really doing yourself a disfavour if you don't at least check us out for a couple of months and make your own decision based on that. Highly recommend it. So yep, give us a go, tricktrades.com. That's it for me for this video, and I will speak to you again soon. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.